Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WrestlePlug State of Wrestling address. Just for this week, the fatal four-way that is the worst podcast in the history of professional wrestling. I am, of course, the worst host of the worst podcast in the history of professional wrestling. Aaron X, the king of shithousery, the Egyptian cum machine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WrestlePlug. Joining us, of course, right below me, where he belongs, is one half of the Can-Am Scottish connection that is Sean McKenzie.
Boom! How's it going tonight?
You can flex all you want. You're still 5'4". Joining us, ladies and gentlemen, from
no
India.
way am I taller than Steve-O.
About the same height, I think.
I'm 5'6". I got myself measured. Legit, I'm 5'6".
You're about the same, give or take. Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, the brown portion of the Can-Am connection, ladies and gentlemen, the man who puts wood in Bollywood and would no doubt put the hoe in Phoenix if he gets the opportunity is, of course, Tanvir.
Hell yeah, brother. You know all about them hoes. Them gardening hoes, am I right?
What's,
Gotta get them chili.
What is that voice? Yeah, boy. Why you got into Ahmed Johnson mode?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's like Booker T when he gets down to business.
Don't ever do that again.
Yeah. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, joining us from a undisclosed location in Bournemouth, named Ferndown, so it's not undisclosed anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, one half of the IWE Tag Team Champions, the reigning and defending BCD champion, the All-Star Assassin, the History Maker, the main event. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry, we have fresh material for you. So, phase 3 of the joke continues because BCD Wrestling, I have it on good authority, is named after Roger Sears due to his big cock disorder. It is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Roger Ichiban Sears.
Two-hander grab.
Jesus Christ, Tanvir.
I love it when
so
Tanvir's...
big,
He's so unhinged. When I first met this boy, he was a lovely young brown boy with, you know, plenty of dreams and no fucking... And now he's just a fucking prick like the rest of us.
Roger's cock's so big, you need to be like Goro and forehand it.
Oh. Extra points for the Mortal Kombat reference, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of forehanding, ladies and gentlemen, this past weekend, of course, was Clash at the Castle. I think it was last weekend, or was it the weekend before that? Was it last weekend?
Last weekend.
Help me out.
Yeah, it was this weekend, the 15th.
Yes? Okay, cool. Excellent. So, Clash at the Castle took place just a few days ago. You'll probably be watching this on a Friday. So, if you're like, oh, it's a bit late, it took like 5 days. It's because we have a life, dork. Shut up. So, 5 matches on tap for Clash at the Castle. And I have it on good authority that every single person in this room has watched Clash at the Castle. Excellent news. All right, then we start with, of course, the opener as Cody Rhodes successfully defeated AJ Styles in an I Quit match for the undisputed WWE Championship by making him say I quit by handcuffing him to the ropes and then threatening to hit him with the steel steps, which he did in turn regardless after he had shouted I quit. Kind of a dick move if you ask me, but what do you expect from somebody who bounces between races? We're not listening to the whole. We're not doing the whole thing again. Absolutely not. So, Roger Sears, I have it on good authority that you are not a fan of this ending for the WWE Undisputed Championship match. Care to elaborate while I eat some cheese?
Enjoyed the match, hated the finish. I think it made AJ look weak. Like a real coward. It's okay to look like a coward when you're a heel, but I think it just went too far of making him a coward. Considering everything AJ's done in his career, it kind of felt like, really, that's how this is ending. And then, just like you said, a real dick move by Cody of actually hitting him with the steps afterwards anyway. It was like, yeah, I just really didn't like the finish to it. Really didn't like it.
Danveer, do you agree with Roger Sears' assessment of the title match?
I'm inclined to agree because I think it was fine. The match was, I really enjoyed it. And then the finish happened. And I think for Cody to hit AJ just afterwards anyways, I'm like, that takes away from it a bit. So it was a fine match. Not as good as their match at Backlash because I prefer just straight singles as opposed to stipulations. But yeah, the finish just made AJ look like a bit of a bitch.
Sean McKenzie, what do you think?
I think for what I Quit matches have been in the past, the entire match itself was probably one of the best ones that there has been. But the ending where he says I quit out of cowardice, still gets hit with the steel chairs, and then that little bloodline segment at the end, it just kind of took away from it all, and it just made no sense realistically. If you're going to do a gimmick match like an I Quit match, you want to do it to the point where someone is bleeding out of their heads whilst in a submission move, and they're literally begging for someone to stop because of the pain, not just because they've got steel thrown at their, like, shoved in their face, and they're just like, whoa, no, I quit, I'm done. It almost seemed a bit out of place.
I don't think this match needed an I Quit stipulation, and I don't think they should have bothered with it in the end. After what I saw, I thought it was very weak sauce. Nothing that, maybe because I'm desensitized for a lot of deathmatch, exposure and things of that nature, but I just found it to be very boring, actually. Like, I didn't think it was a patch on the match of Backlash either. I thought that match was much better. I also didn't think the crowd were much for this either. I thought the Glasgow crowd were pretty dull for the most part, except for one big pop. Like, I thought they were rubbish, actually. Rog, like, you would have so I'll be honest, like, I watched it in bits. I kind of skipped through the highlights of each match and then watched all the like flashpoints and stuff. There was a big talking point afterwards about there being an issue with the ropes. Was this something that was, relevant to you? Did you notice that for the most part during this show?
I don't actually remember anything
There
to
you
do
go.
with it, so maybe I just didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, there was a lot
It
of
can't have been that
discussion.
big of an issue.
Well, yeah,
Was
the
there?
dirt
Okay.
sheets were picking up afterwards, saying that apparently a lot of competitors were complaining that one of the ropes was dodgy on one side, especially. It was
Oh,
quite
okay.
slack, and this was apparently something that was seen more in the next match, the Women's Tag Team Championships. Now, we have new Women's Tag Team Champions. I do believe a couple of people called it Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Suit you, sir. Yeah, they captured the tag titles. Obviously, not pinning the champions. One of the big talking points out of this is the fact that Jade Cargill, in a lot of people's estimation, was really bad in this match. From what I saw of it, it wasn't great. A lot of moves didn't land very well. That being said, she looked $1 million. She's kind of half the battle with WWE. Tanvir, do you feel like the Jade Cargill experiment is failing pretty badly?
I think it's a blip. This is just a blip because like we mentioned, the ropes, and I believe in the AJ match, someone even picked up, one of the refs warned AJ, just letting him know like the ropes are a bit loose. I think the one thing that got me with Jade was the excessive tapping when Shayna had her in the submission. That was the one thing, and I think a lot of people told her backstage of like, it's okay to do it a couple times, but you done it so much that it looked like a tap out.
A legal tap out is 3 taps, which was an issue, I believe, that reared its ugly head when Gunther had a match with, it might have been Riddle, I'm not entirely sure. Gunther had a match with somebody a little while back. It might have been last year or the year before. And that person, I believe Gunther, I think it might have been against Sheamus, and he tapped out to Sheamus accidentally, and he was trying to bang the mat, and it was like, oh, and they just kind of tried to gloss over it. So she's not the first person to do that by any means, but yeah, her offense looked pretty weak sauce from my estimation. Sean McKenzie, still a fan of Jade Cargill?
I'm still a fan of like what they're clearly trying to sort of do some kind of Goldberg thing with her, with the fact that she looks like she's an absolute beast, much like Bianca Belair, where again Bianca Belair is in incredible shape, but at least Bianca Belair can move really well. But I think with Jade, and I'm not sure what position I can say this in because I'm very green myself, but I still think when it comes to doing what she's doing now and the position she's in, I don't think she's ready at all yet.
Would you agree with that assessment, Rog? Shouldn't be on TV yet?
I don't know about the shouldn't be on TV. She looks $1 million, doesn't she?
Do you think they should be doing a Batista thing where she's kind of like a manager, a bit like the Deacon Batista thing, where they kind of built him up slowly as like a big heavy hitting before they kind of unleashed him in proper matches?
They definitely have rushed it, haven't they? They seem desperate to get her out there and working, and they've just put her in a spot that's too much for her right now, I think.
Do you think the fans are their own worst enemy, though? Because like when she came out of the Rumble, obviously it was a humongous pop for her. Like, ironically enough, the same people who are shitting on her are the ones that lost their shit when she came out. So it's kind of that thing of like, well, you're the ones who kind of gave her this humongous reception
Yeah.
and made her feel like a big deal from the get-go. So you can't complain if WWE thinks, well, we better capitalize on that by having her in the ring more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the same thing with AEW. I think me and Carl were agreed with like or I think Carl might have said she was shit. I don't know, but she's got the look, she's got the presence down. It's just the in-ring work, honestly. Because even her promos are pretty decent. It's just the in-ring work that just is letting her a bit down. So if she can sharpen that up just as much, then she's cleared. That's the only thing that's holding her back at this point is just getting those reps in.
Does she suffer from the fact that this is a more work rate based genre? Like, you know, who can forget Ultimate Warrior, who was the drizzling shits, but was one of the most over talents in the history of wrestling. Like Hulk Hogan was over as hell and didn't do fuck all in the ring. Even John Cena in his period didn't really do a great deal in terms of work rate unless he really needed to against a Punk. So, you know, do you feel like it's kind of everything's kind of levied against her a bit much, you know, especially with the women who work really hard nowadays?
I think
That was
like
kind of the point I was going to make, actually, was where Steve said about doing a Goldberg thing with her. I don't think that works in today's environment because I think the fans expect more out of the performers. And yeah, ideally, that would be the thing to do with her. She just comes out and squashes people in a couple of minutes. But the audience want more than that. And in the long run, it might get her over in a very short space. But over a longer period, the longer that goes, the less she'll get over and the more fans will get tired of it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think like another thing is like it's again going with that. It's all about this looks kind of thing because she looks like she looks like £1,000,000. She looks like she could eventually be a female Goldberg. She looks like her versus Bianca could be an absolute belter where they do just knock the seven bells out of each other because they're both in incredible shape and they're both incredibly strong. But it's that same thing of where is she actually utilizing the tool she has while working for the WWE, which is using the PC and actually tightening up on those things that she might see and go, oh, actually, I need to use these tools. I need to get this right. Is she doing that? Or is she just like, thinking that, because of her look and because of what she's done in the past, that she doesn't need to?
Let's talk about the new tag team champions though. Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn got the biggest pop of the night by far, in my opinion. I thought this was easily like the biggest crowd reaction. They were smart putting this on early. Actually, I think the fans were very receptive. They went fucking bananas when they won.
Yeah.
There was a lovely moment. Alba Fyre's gone through a lot of personal issues recently, so it's lovely to see her kind of get her flowers and her moment quite literally at ringside with the family and stuff.
Respect to commentary bringing that up and also like letting fans who weren't aware but also know like what Alba Fyre's been through recently. So big shout out to commentary for doing that for her. Didn't need
The
to, but
Unholy
good on them.
Union. Yeah, I mean, they are fantastic workers actually, and they look great. And yeah, it's actually quite refreshing to see the belts on them. Not a fan of hot potato in these belts, and the women's tag belts are the worst offenders for that in the history of this company. But I like them on these two. I just hope that it's going to be a regular thing. So yeah, no, I think everyone's happy, obviously, for them that they got their moment. Sami Zayn successfully defended the IC title. I do believe a couple of people actually picked Chad Gable. Come on, own up. Who picked Chad Gable?
I think all of us did,
I
except
did.
for you.
I
What did Nick
said I
say?
wanted.
Oh yeah.
I said I wanted Chad to win it, but I thought Sammy would.
Unsurprisingly, the veteran with the knowledge picked the correct ones. Of course, they did. Yeah, no, I see no value in Chad Gable winning it in Scotland of all places. Obviously,
Well, he's dead now.
We'll get to that. We're going to talk about that in a bit. We're trying to go chronologically here. Just stop fucking with the timeline, you little prick. Yeah, he certainly does look like he might be dead based on what I saw on Raw. But yeah, I mean, there was also, of course, the build of, Otis finally having enough and in Mandy Rose-esque fashion, taking lovely Maxine away in his arms. It was he's quite good at being like a a sort of likable babyface. I was really hoping they were going to turn him into like Vader, this big destroyer, but I do like him as a face, and I think there's too much value in him from a comedic presence. The problem is, I remember John Moxley saying this on a podcast. Said, well, as soon as you show that you have comedic timing, you are fucked in WWE because they make you into a comedy character, and that's kind of what's happened here very quickly. Although he's really good at it, he rolls with it. The storyline has been decent, nothing spectacular, but good enough. Of course, Sammy capitalizes on that, hits a Helluva Kick, and obviously we'll be moving on to different pastures because Bron Breakker and Sheamus are itching to get a slice of him, as we saw on Raw. Bron Breakker apparently on his destroy all black men with a car tour. It's a joke, obviously.
Real glass.
Real glass indeed. Fucking, I mean, I will say, very cool spot when he took out Ricochet not this week, but last week on Raw. He fucking murdered. He speared him for a car. It was fucking awful. Bron Breakker finally starting to get his chops. But yeah, Sami Zayn retaining, not really a surprise to me, not much of a talking point. The match that really intrigued me, because of the reaction, was actually Bayley, who successfully defeated Piper Niven. Now, obviously, Piper Niven being Scottish, I thought she got a shite reaction. The crowd, this is what happens when you put her against the biggest babyface you have in the women's division. That was a bad move because, people didn't care as much. Also, you got Chelsea Green coming out, looking redonkulous in the Scottish schoolgirl shit. But at the same time, it was like, that doesn't help. That kind of feels like you're mocking the heritage and the presence, but you're alongside Scotland's biggest maiden. So that doesn't really make any sense from a storyline perspective. Crowd did not receive this match very well. Most of them, from what I could tell, were far more behind Bayley. And then when Bayley won, it was very apathetic. Like, it's kind of what we expected. Piper Niven wasn't given enough time to be put up as a seriously credible competitor. Any thoughts on this match at all?
I mean, I was actually watching it and texting Roger at the same time, and we both agreed that the Scottish crowd really are not interested in the slightest of women's wrestling, because the entire tag match barely had much reaction except for the win at the end. And then when Piper Niven, they're built up to be this hometown hero at the press conference type thing, managed to get a Tesco chant going, which popped me for a moment there when I saw that. and as she comes out, there's nothing. It's just dead silence. Like, it shocked me. I get that she was like the sort of heel in this storyline as Bayley's the face, but she's the hometown hero, so to speak, and there was nothing.
I don't think the pre-video package did a good job of highlighting her either.
No.
It was very lazy, very kind of cheap. Like, I feel like I could have made a better video package than that for her. They just didn't hype her up enough as like, hey, this is genuinely one of the most powerful and most stunning people to ever come out of Scottish wrestling.
Exactly.
Tanvir interrupting people already. Where's your wrist things?
I done 15 earlier because I interrupted you.
Yeah,
earlier.
well, you best do 50 more, motherfucker. Now, please tell us what your point is. You're so desperate to interrupt with it.
I'm surprised because WWE have done this in the past and used like other companies' footage to like hype someone up. So I'm surprised that WWE like didn't ask Stardom or ICW or like any other promotions like, hey, can we use your footage to build Piper up a bit? To make a solid like hype package for her to be like, yeah, she was this international star. She was the first foreigner, I believe, to win the red. It was either the red belt or the white belt in Stardom because I get them mixed up.
Yeah, but WWE fans don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Like, with all due respect, like Stardom is a
been...
great promotion, when the promoter isn't allegedly being a fucking dodgy geezer, which I've heard Kenny Omega spouting off on his Twitch stream. But yeah, like, the problem is a casual fan, like, what the fuck, a red belt, green belt, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, nobody gives a shit. That's right, you keep squeezing. Like, it's that thing of like Stardom, very, very cool to a hardcore smark, but they are a very tiny percentage of what makes up this viewing audience. And even, especially Scottish fans are not going to give a fuck what goes on in Stardom. They probably have as much interest in Roger Sears fucking bird piping up in the background as they do in Stardom. Little shit never shuts the fuck up. There you go. See what I mean? He's making it loud. He knows he's being spoken about. Hatter, he's a little prick. But yeah, he's funny. So yeah, it's, I don't know. Yeah, I thought this was flatter than, just flatter than a pancake, frankly. It was just pointless. Like, nobody cared. Match wasn't great either, if you ask me. It's okay. Like, it just felt like a middle of the road Raw match, which wasn't great, which didn't build the crowd up nicely for the main event, which had some energy to it. But I'll tell you what, the crowd, again, I don't think were that receptive to Drew McIntyre. He got a decent pop. He got more of a pop when he signed the kid's autograph when he came out, which I thought was quite adorable. I like that. That was very cool because he is a de facto face here. WWE have done a really bad job of working out whether he's a face or a heel. They've shotgunned him in as a face for this rivalry just so that he can be the face of this pay-per-view. And let's be honest, we wouldn't have a pay-per-view in Scotland if we wanted for Drew, much in the same way we didn't get one in England until Bulldog kind of came along. So Drew is kind of responsible for this pay-per-view, and his thank you for that is to have a half-decent match with Damian Priest and get fucked over by CM Punk, who comes down as the ref and stitches him up, low blows him, acting like a mega heel, as he has done pretty much throughout this whole rivalry. It's just that in America, people are like, Drew McIntyre just got kind of shit canned by WWE over this whole process. I honestly thought he was going to win the belt, because what was the point otherwise? And he didn't. Damian Priest retained, and nobody gave a shit. The crowd were... I mean, has anyone seen the viral video of the Glaswegian woman who was in the upper deck losing her fucking marbles at CM Punk?
No, I've not seen that.
So funny. CM Punk gets in the ring and she's like, fuck you, CM Punk, you bastard, you bitch, you bastard, I'll fucking kill you, you fucking sheepbug. She's going fucking bananas, like proper losing her shit at CM Punk. It's really funny. I'll try and splice it in because it is fucking hilarious. But yeah, no, it's as I was going to ask before Tanvir tried to jump the gun with his mad ADHD, as always. Get back on the wrist, please. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is our way of training him. Yes, that's right. Be a good little brown boy and squeeze those wrists with whippersnapper. Yeah, so ultimately, is this a massive, massive failure, Tanvir, on WWE's end, this whole main event and the way they built it?
It is a failure, and Steve-O, just around. Do you remember when a Priest cashed in at WrestleMania and you had that lady screaming at the TV like all you had to do was leave? That's all you had to do. You just had it had the same energy like Nick's was of that lady shouting about Punk. Like that lady was furious.
I mean, everyone's got a number one fan. Everyone's got their fan. Just ask EC3.
The one moment where I legit like almost did a spit take was when Priest got his ankle caught in the ropes. I was like, fucking Christ, I hope he's okay. And then Drew having to play. It was an okay main event, but the moment they did the camera angle and the ref was down and I saw the sliding, I'm like, that's Punk. Like, I saw the shoes, I'm like, that's Punk. That's just Punk. Then they did the camera pan, I'm like, and there it is.
It was so obviously Punk. I love how they're like, oh, we can't see because the camera angle was like, dude, it's literally him. Like anyone can see that, not just the shoes, the body shape. And yeah, I mean, I get what they're trying to do from a TV perspective, especially for kids who are watching it. I'm like, oh my God, who is it? But yeah, it was so freaking obvious. The whole thing just doesn't sit well with me. And then, of course, we have the follow-up on Raw, which we're going to talk about because there are some amazing things that happen on Raw. Raw went bananas this week. Yeah, obviously Drew McIntyre quit. You know, did the whole Batista thing almost, like, which would have made very much sense if we didn't know that he just re-signed another contract. If they hadn't released that, I would have thought he was gone and fuck you guys, I'm off to AEW. You know, because realistically, what else can Drew do in this? Like, okay, he'll probably have a match with CM Punk. And then what? He's right back to being a bitch again, which is a bit frustrating.
After Punk, I can't think. Has he ever been United States champ?
Yeah, but that feels like a real drop down.
Yeah.
Who is US champ at the moment? Oh, Logan Paul.
Logan.
Yeah, like he's done a very good job of elevating that belt, but once that comes off of him, all of a sudden it loses its publicity in a lot of ways. So, yeah. Like...
I mean, the man just did a podcast with Donald Trump, and that was the first thing that was shown in the clip that they did. That they were doing like a face-off with the United States belt on the line.
Pretty baller, isn't it?
Like, if that's not publicity, then I don't know what is.
Donald Trump, your next United States champion.
Jesus Christ.
Say what you like. That makes money.
If it's anything like what happened, I what match was it? Stone Cold was special guest referee with
Umaga Bobby Lashley.
That's the one. If it's anything like that, fucking hell.
Roger, weren't you at that Mania? That was the Mania you were at, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that. What
Roger
was it like?
Sears was in the main.
So what was it like seeing Donald Trump clothesline his fellow billionaire, who he probably after that joined in shitting on someone's head?
Oh, the crowd lost their shit for it.
They did
They
actually.
loved
They
it.
popped like
They
mad.
absolutely loved that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Donald Trump is over, mate. Deal with it.
Can
That's
Donald
right.
Trump...
Build a wall around your feelings, because Donald Trump is over in the dub.
Can Donald Trump's finisher be called the Top Trump?
I cannot believe he had a black man in his corner.
Wow.
See? Proof that he's not a racist. Get over it, America. See? Yeah, Bobby
Jesus
Lashley.
Christ.
Yeah, he chose. Bobby Lashley was his guy. He said that. Bobby Lashley is my guy. So there you go. He's clearly not a racist. It's all fake news.
Do you reckon,
Nonsense.
You reckon Donald Trump was friends with OJ?
For a while, yeah. Probably helped him kill his wife. Probably was in on it. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, like he was the one driving the white Hummer, mate. Like,
The Ford Bronco.
yeah. He's like, I don't understand how Mexicans can drive a car like this. It's unacceptable. Just fucking.
That was not a bad impression.
It's all right. I've been working on it. Working on it slowly but surely. There are too many Mexicans on the highway. I'm trying to get O.J. Simpson's wife. Get out of my way. They, it's that kind of.
Why do we need Mexican restaurants? There's plenty of Taco Bells.
Exactly. Taco Bell, the forefront of Mexican cuisine. Was Reese and Rogan like Taco Bell? I was like, unacceptable.
No.
Taco Bell sucks dick. In this country, it's really bad.
Taco
Really bad.
Taco Bell was great until about half an hour later when it just does not agree with anyone in this country.
Yeah, but Tanvir's an Indian, so he don't give a fuck about that.
We have a Taco Bell on the
He
high
puts
street.
the quaw in korma, he does.
Quaw!
I'll give you a Peshwari.
Peshwari
Peshwari naan, yes, please. Let's just talk about takeaway for the rest of the show.
I'll give you a samosa chart.
Yeah, so fucking hell. That sounds more threatening than it probably is. Yeah, so Clash of the Castle, not great. If you ask me, I actually thought it was a bit meh. I didn't really out of all the pay-per-views this year, probably the worst one I think that I've seen.
Yeah.
I thought it was WWE's worst show of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Like when you think of all the shows they've had, like Royal Rumble was up here, Elimination was like on there, WrestleMania went like up here, and then
WrestleMania went like that. What are you on about? I was like,
and then like Backlash
Night
was
2
like,
especially. WrestleMania Night 2, amazing. WrestleMania Night 1, freezing as fuck, so that's why the crowd was dead. It was fucking cold.
Backlash.
To be fair, you would know. You were there. So.
Yeah.
But it's like
a lot of people in here with WWE pay-per-view experience, actually. Like, even I've been to a Clash of the Castle. What about you, Mackenzie? Ever been to a WWE pay-per-view?
Nope.
Fuck you, you loser.
Too poor.
What a gimp. Mate, why do you think we bought the 30 quid seats at the back when we went to Wales? Fuck that noise.
But like it just doesn't sum up to much.
We'll get to a bit.
What the fuck? Why are you interrupting people now? Shut the fuck up, bitch. Now then, right, we're moving on to WWE Raw, unless Sean Mackenzie would like to finish his point.
No.
Excellent, fair enough. Right, I want to move to WWE Raw because Seth Rollins made his triumphant return. Got a bigger pop than anyone got at Clash of the Castle, actually. Crowd went bananas for him. He came back. And, of course, he's challenging Damian Priest at Money in the Bank in the only currently advertised match for that pay-per-view, which will take place right down the road from Carl Wilkinson's house in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, on July 6th. Carl Wilkinson, you had best go to Money in the Bank or I will finger you with a maple leaf. Unacceptable behavior. So Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, good person to challenge next. I'm assuming an interim opponent until Gunter can deliciously wait for the opponent.
I think that one's going to be a straight up banger between those two.
I think Seth Rollins should audition as Wolverine because what fucking healing factor?
Yeah, that's a fair fucking point.
How has he come back this quick? Like he was barely walking at WrestleMania 40, and 2 months later, fucking
company
hell.
guy, and he might still be fucked knowing Seth. Like he's that kind of guy. He can't stay away. He'll run through walls for this company. He proved that at WrestleMania. He was the guy who was willing to go out there and help everyone else look good. That's something you have to give him a lot of love for. I think people are going to appreciate him a lot more when he's retired. I think, you know, he's getting into that John Cena territory where he's around so much you don't really appreciate him when he's not there. I think once he's gone, people will appreciate him a lot. Certainly a lot more than his wife, who was trash. So, you know, like, it is what it is. Oh, I'm sorry. What, are the Irish going to come after me? Please, you got Sheamus, mate. Stop crying. Yeah, like. So Raw opens up with that. That's pretty good. We obviously had Otis finally having enough of Chad Gable, which left Chad Gable prone to an assault. Because the one thing everyone wants to talk about from Raw is the debut of the WYATT Six, which was spectacular. So show ends with Jey Uso going over, who, by the way, is over like mad. So cool. His entrance was sick. Lights go down. All of a sudden, obviously, Sister Abigail appears, which is, of course, Nikki Cross. Perfect casting, I think, for that role. The perfect person to play it. Really good look as well. Comes out with, you know, over the lantern and stuff. Then the camera goes backstage, and you have this, what is apparently was shot live in one take, which was very impressive. Very, very impressive, because obviously we then get to see so many of the characters come to life. The Rabbit is, I believe, represented by Eric Rowan. We obviously have what's his name? Fucking Dexter Loomis. Samuel Shaw was what I was going to say, the TNA guy, who again perfect in terms of character for that role, and Joe Gacy as well. And then of course Uncle Howdy kind of appears, and the crowd loses their fucking shit. And then there's this sick shot at the end where they say we're here, and there's the 5 of them as a group. Now, obviously, a lot of people are saying, "Where's the 6th member?" A lot of people, like myself, just assume that the 6th member, it'll either be Alexa Bliss down the road, or it's you know, an homage to Bray, who's sadly no longer here. So it's kind of like a mythological kind of thing. I'd be interested to see whether they are brave enough to delve into it more and have people who look like Bray turn up in a ghost fashion or whatever, because that wouldn't surprise me, because Bray certainly would have greenlit something like that, I think, if he'd had the opportunity. So I guess it comes down to Taylor, obviously Bo Dallas, who personally I'm very excited for, because he never really was taken that seriously as a wrestler. He has the opportunity to be one of the biggest heels in the history of the company right here. So yeah, Roger Sears, your cocktail seems very excited about the premise. How buzzing are you? He wants to be part of the Firefly Funhouse, that's why. He certainly belongs in there, the little prick. So Roger Sears, how buzzed are you for the WYATT Six, and how well do you think? Oh, by the way, it's worth pointing out, they essentially murdered an entire crew of people. There are bodies everywhere, and Chad Gable was literally had a giant wound in his head. He was bleeding. I swear I saw Luke Gallows laying against the fucking thing. Why have you got your hand up? What is this, fucking preschool? Of course, you would get excited by the concept of preschool, wouldn't you? What you got to say?
One of the bodies Rowan was over was fucking Gunther. I shit you not, it was Gunther.
I find that hard to believe.
One of the bodies Rowan was like
I think it just happened to be someone who might have looked a little bit like him. There is no way.
It was legit. People were doing zoom ins and everything. They're like, it's fucking Gunther.
Not buying
Rowan
that.
Killed Gunther.
Not buying that. No way. Not buying it. Like, why would you? Like, I don't mind a few guys like taking a hit here, even guys of a prominent nature like Chad Gable. Gunther, absolutely fucking not.
They did it in like a dark light way, so you couldn't tell. So that's why smart. He might have just been one of the bodies, but people did zoom in. It's like, yeah, that's Gunther there, but
fake news, mate. Fake news. Donald Trump is still over, and Gunther certainly wasn't beaten up by Eric Rowan. Not happening. Not having it. Absolutely unacceptable. But Tanvir, seeing as you're running your fucking mouth like mad, what do you think about the WYATT Six?
I fucking love it.
Who doesn't like this? This is fucking gold.
Like this. It's why I'm sad about the House of Black and AEW. Because it's shit like this I love about wrestling.
We just had the House of Black in WWE.
Fuck's sake. Kudos to you, sir.
I thought that was quite good. Like,
that was a good
I'm
one.
sure some dickheads going to be like, so racist. I'm like, not really. Like, what's wrong with black excellence being together?
Yeah,
I love how triggered people get by those jokes. It's like, oh, you're being racist. Well, exactly. Cody Rhodes, African-American Negro champion. Like, I mean, what more do you want? Like, but by the way, people getting triggered about that was made by a black person. That's what makes me laugh.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, a black guy made that song and video, and people are like, oh, you're so racist. Yes, they're racist towards themselves. That's how they do it. It's a joke. Fucking marks, honestly.
Love it so
Christ
much.
almighty.
No,
Sean McKenzie, the WYATT Six.
Absolutely love it. And I love the original Wyatt family. Like when they first came out, you had Bray Wyatt on the rocking chair, you had Eric Rowan with the white sheep mask.
Fucking state the obvious over here. Like, everybody
It
knows
was-
what the Wyatt family is. It's
like,
okay.
It was, you might get someone out there that's an idiot.
Well, yeah, I know. That's why because you were in our group chat. You were in the All-Star group chat earlier, explaining to people that England won the World Cup in 1966, and I'm like, no fucking shit. Thanks for the update, Scottish Meltzer.
I have to further explain what a shit place this place is to live. Anyway,
Not that bad.
So,
Well,
again,
would you move to Scotland if you had the choice?
I don't know. Probably Canada is where I'll move to.
Canada?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, so you can be closer to your lover boy, Carl Wilkinson.
Oh yeah. No, I loved the original Wyatt family.
They're both short enough that they don't have legs. Sorry, Karen.
When The Fiend came out, I loved that. And, you know, I'm really hoping that what they don't do with this is drop the ball on it too early. It needs a lengthy run where, like, you know.
Did you say a lengthy run? I'm fascinated that you should mention something lengthy because ultimately Roger Sears' cock is so big that he just graduated from university with a first in geography. Please carry on, Sean McKenzie. More to come from the Roger Sears update.
Yeah, I think this needs a lengthy run, definitely a good.
Did you say lengthy run again? I'm glad you
not
mentioned
scripted,
it.
Not scripted.
There's nothing scripted about this, darling. Roger Sears' dog is so mammoth that when he gets an erection, he needs several blood transfusions. Please continue.
Okay, I need to find something else other than those two words. It needs
Girth?
time.
Me rub you wrong time.
It needs a long time to
Long time?
Honey,
you should mention long because Roger Sears' dick is so long that Israel and Palestine are at war over it, mate.
All right, I give up. Move to the next person. That's it. I'm done. Roger,
Some say.
Anyone else got their opinions on the WYATT Six?
I've got an opinion on Roger's cock.
Have you? Go ahead.
Some say Roger's cock is so long it takes the whole length of Oppenheimer just to get it hard.
That's it's not bad. Although leave the jokes down to me in future. Yeah. There's a good point. Okay, and there's a reason why I'm the host.
I'll stick to the racism.
Yeah, you do stay in your lane, which is attacking black people for no reason. I'm joking. He's not that racist.
I'm not dark enough yet.
No, I don't know. He's getting close. I imagine with a tan. Imagine with a tan, you'd be in Brooklyn. Yeah, definitely. Tantanvir. That just sounds like the most racist Asian gimmick of all time.
Oh yeah, it's Tantanvir.
Tantanvir. Yeah. Great. Now we've offended an entire continent. Again. Good stuff. At this point, nobody's watching anyway, apart from Ajax and Will Rocket. So, hi guys, how's it going? So everyone wave to Will Rocket. Say hello to Will, who, by the way, was at Clash at the Castle and seemed to have a very good time. So yeah, I cannot imagine the amount of beer that was consumed. Absolutely, he must have been bricked. I mean, Iron Brew is fantastic. Yes.
It is brilliant.
Yeah, it is. A lack of Iron Brew is a severe fucking disability as far as I'm concerned, which is why I stay topped up with my regular Iron Brew salesman, Scott Jones. So yeah, any more opinions on the WYATT Six before we move on?
Other than saying it's the best thing they've done in years. It really is.
This segment buzzed my tits off. I said to Roger earlier when I was chatting to him, from a videographer standpoint, that is the kind of stuff you dream of capturing. I want to capture stuff like this on the British Indies. I want more cinematic stuff, more supernatural stuff, something that really, gets people thinking and feeling. And, like this is something, for instance, I'd love to apply at All-Star, cinematic premise. This concept of seeing wrestling outside of just a traditional squared circle, because I think people, everyone can see wrestling in its purest format, but not everyone can see wrestling in a storytelling format. I know it's not for everybody. I'm sure Jim Cornette will hate this. I'm very fascinated to hear what he has to say about it. But for me personally, a masterpiece. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And a real good direction for the company, because I feel like they have got away from a lot of that stuff and they've really buried themselves in really hardcore, aggressive, high work rate wrestling as of the past couple of years. So this is kind of a nice little callback to people who appreciate the more gimmick stuff, you know, the more character-based stuff, the Undertaker-esque mentality of things. So yeah, speaking of Undertaker, actually, I do have a little article I pulled up here. So Undertaker was he's pretty much free roam at this point, isn't he? Like
Chris
saying whatever he
Vandalay.
feels. Yeah, exactly. So WWE Hall of Fame The Undertaker says that former Intercontinental Champion Gunther is his favorite wrestler on the current WWE roster. It's been nearly 2.5 years since he made his debut on SmackDown, Gunther. Yeah, on 6 Feet Under, Undertaker explained why Gunther has become his guy and shared how his own son has become interested in the ring general. Gunther is my guy. 2 years ago, he had about a 10-minute conversation with my little boy. My little boy's fascinated by him. Colt is fascinated. They had a conversation just out of the clear blue, and he sat there and just talked to him. That's not why he's my guy. He's my guy because he knows how to work and tell a story. But yeah, I'm really, really high on him. I mean, getting the nod from the greatest big man in the history of wrestling tells you everything you need to know. Gunther is on his way. And no doubt, do you know what? They haven't even sneezed at the Berlin pay-per-view yet, have they? Bash at Berlin. Not even fucking referenced it. I am hoping to get my passport in the next couple of weeks. Fingers crossed. That's the one I want. I'm desperate to get out to Berlin.
Wait, when's that one?
August, I believe.
August 30th, I want to say.
Just after SummerSlam.
It must be slightly later than that because August the 25th, I believe, is a Saturday, and that's AEW All In.
Is it? I want to say it's August 31st then, the Saturday the 31st of August?
I mean, we'll find out. Tanvi, you can Google away while we're doing that. But
Yeah,
Roger says, Undertaker says Gunther is his guy. He's well on his way, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Isn't he just? What a match that would have been, though. Can you imagine those two?
If ever there was a match to drag him out of retirement, that's the one. That's the one.
And you know, the frustrating thing is, you looking at it now, you can go, would there have been anybody better to have ended the streak?
Yeah,
I mean,
right now,
really,
definitely. It's a shame that
he would have been the guy, wouldn't he?
It's a shame he wasn't as prominent at that time because, fuck me, absolute perfection. So yeah, pretty cool. Anything to add to that?
Just to can you get any? I mean, I love Gunther, but Brock being the guy to end the streak just
at the
made
time,
so
yes,
much sense.
because that's because what we're talking about is in hindsight. If Walter or Gunther had been at his prominence then that would have been perfect. But we couldn't have waited this long to end Taker's streak.
No,
he would have he would have been a digested biscuit by this point. It just not worked.
I mean, if we're actually talking about the match between Gunther and Undertaker, I was actually listening to it at work earlier today. The Chris Van Vliet podcast, which the Undertaker was a guest on just after 6 Feet Under, I think it was. And Undertaker gets squeezed in Tanvir.
Shut the fuck up.
Undertaker actually said that one of the things he hates in wrestling matches is like he doesn't really like chops. You know, like when he did a match with Flair, he said that you get 3 chops and that's about it. Even though Flair definitely gave him more than 3 chops because that's Flair's thing. You imagine Undertaker taking one of Gunther's chops. I think if Undertaker doesn't like chops, there's going to be one hefty thing coming back to Gunther.
I think Gunther would love it, to be honest, as well. He'd be popping his. I would happily take chops off Undertaker. I wouldn't give a shit. Tanvir, anything to add before we move on?
Nothing, Mark. Nothing. So
right.
SummerSlam is on the August the 3rd, Saturday, August 3rd. And
the same day as Rise Underground Summer Sesh.
And Bash at Berlin is Saturday, the 31st of August.
Probably having a bash in Berlin, mate, I'll tell you. That's going to be fucking noise. You know what? I don't give a shit about going to watch AEW in Wembley, but I definitely want to see WWE in Berlin.
That was going to bring me up to another point because we were talking about Wales. Did you see the
Well,
news
yes,
with
dickhead.
AEW?
This is the next fucking thing I have lined up, which is why I'm the host and you need to shut the fuck up, innit? Fucking little cunt. He's always trying to preemptively strike, innit? So, ladies and gentlemen, good news for you because we won't talk about Shane McMahon. We'll talk about AEW first because Tanvir apparently has to get his shit in. So, AEW announced they will be bringing their flagship shows Dynamite and the Weekend Warrior Collision to the UK for the first time this August to preemptively strike, of course, the build to Wembley. The company plans to produce a double taping of both programs on 21st of August at the Utilita Arena in Cardiff. Wales, who fancies going to Cardiff to watch Dynamite? All right. I mean, I offered right there. I would have driven everyone if they wanted it. I would have got tickets. I went to the very first ever Dynamite, so it would have been quite cool to go to the first one in the UK. But surely this is a good thing, right? Having Dynamite and Collision in the UK, like being taped in the UK.
They could have done it at the OVO Wembley, though. They could have done it at Wembley Arena.
Why would they when they already have Wembley Stadium that's going to probably have 60,000 plus?
Because they're right next to each other.
That's exactly why they're doing it in Cardiff, so that other people can see it, because otherwise it's just the same people.
Not just that, Tanvi, you've got to think Dynamite and Collision aren't going to pull the same numbers as All In, one of their top.
Hence, it's at the Utility Arena, which is not the biggest arena in the world either.
So, like, they're probably going to get, maybe like, 10,000 people. I don't know how much I don't know how much the arena they're doing in Wales.
I checked this. It's a 7,500 capacity.
They'll probably get like, I don't know, 4,000 maybe then. But like if they were to do that at Wembley, it would just look empty. And there'd be no point in doing it at Wembley.
Yeah, Roger Sears, excited at all about Dynamite? Or, like, would you be interested in going to see that?
It's a good thing they come over. I mean, it would be cool to be able to have, at least if nothing else, say I was there the first time they put one of these shows on over there. So
if tickets are affordable, I'll certainly jump out.
Yeah, if tickets are affordable.
I believe tickets go on sale this Friday or Monday. I think there's a pre-sale tomorrow, and then I think so. You know, you never know. Well, have a look. Have a look at the prices. Like, the thing is with the Utility Arena is it's smaller, so that even if you're at the back, you get a half decent view of the show.
Yeah.
So it's worth getting cheap seats and still going. And like I said, I'm happy to drive. So, you know, if anyone wants to fucking jump in a car with me, they're more than welcome to. No, I now get booked for like 3 fucking shows or some bullshit like that. But I mean, last year I did 4 shows around that Wembley show. So fingers crossed we get some work. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, even though I don't like AEW's product that much, although I've dipped in a little bit recently just because I love Will Ospreay. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's more wrestling. And it's more accessible live wrestling. And I think it's very smart off the back of people who wouldn't have got to see Clash at the Castle, because Scotland is a fair trek if you live in the south of England. It's a long way. You're talking like 8-9 hour drive. You're talking about a very, very long train ride for something of that nature, which a lot of people certainly would not have done, which is probably another reason why the crowd was a bit, I thought. I know Roger on the last podcast said that he expected quite a lot of fans to travel. From my perspective, it seemed like it was predominantly Scottish. So, yeah. And also, I mean, I assume that because the atmosphere, I think, would have been better if there were more English fans. I have to be real, because they do make a lot more noise overall. I've got to be honest, Scottish fans' biggest letdown of any pay-per-view internationally that I've seen so far.
I think Scotland were just like...
Yeah, you represent Scotland. What's your problem?
They were still maybe a little bit bitter from their loss by Germany the night previous.
I mean, it was a rather interesting... I mean, they probably didn't know that at the time, but Scotland ended up getting pumped by Germany in the Euros the night before. And Scotland is very passionate about its sports, to say the very least. So, yeah. You can take away a lot of their spirit, but you can never, ever take away their ability to not defend against Germany. So, yeah, well, congratulations, Scotland. Hey, you got a draw the other night. Stop fucking crying about it. It was actually a good draw as well, to be fair, against a very capable Switzerland team. So whatever. So yeah, AEW in Cardiff, awesome. Tickets will be going on sale very, very soon. In fact, the tickets for this taping are set to go on sale Friday, the 28th of June. So next Friday, they will be actually going on sale. Khan is obviously hopeful that tickets will sell out. I think they will for this, because it's in England and, well, Wales. Like, if it was in America, they wouldn't give a shit. They'd still be getting about 3,000 people then, because nobody wants to go and watch it in America, because the product has proven itself to be pretty poor. So, seeing as we're on AEW, Tanvir, you don't like AEW much. So now we're going to make you suffer even more for fucking interrupting me, you little prick, because we're going to break down the AEW Forbidden Door card as it currently stands for June the 30th at the the UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. June the 30th, New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW presents AEW x NJPW Forbidden Door. So, currently on tap are 9 matches. I look forward to Roger Sears' input here. It should be fun. So, the men's Owen Hart Cup tournament first round we have Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. Look at him. Look at him. He's off. He's off and running. Oh, I will say, as somebody who does know a little bit about Japanese wrestling, that is a big, big deal. That is a good match. You are wanking yourself off,
Dude, I
ferocious here.
fucking love Shingo. You guys
He's
know I
wanking
love
off,
Shingo.
he's wanking off the gold. He's doing this.
He's giving it the old pterodactyl, mate. Yeah. Tanvir, while you're consuming a large amount of Japanese semen, please tell us how excited you are to watch this match.
So I'm extremely excited. It's a rematch of a match from Dragon Gate USA, which is about 15 years old.
Fucking
when
dork.
Shingo was first starting out and Danielson was younger. I am extremely excited about this, and it's really hard to tell who's going to win this as well.
I think Bryan Danielson goes over. Sean
think-
McKenzie, big fan of Shingo Takagi?
I'm gonna be honest. I watch little bits of Japanese wrestling here and there. Like I'll see a clip of it on TikTok, and I think, "Wow, that."
He watches hentai. That's what he's trying to say.
Fuck's sake.
He watches hentai. He doesn't know anything about New Japan whatsoever. He's full
I'm
of
gonna
shit.
be honest. I don't. If you were to put the New Japan roster in front of me, I wouldn't know who they are.
Luckily for you, Sean McKenzie, we have our roaming reporter on the ground, somebody who knows more about Japanese wrestling than anybody else, Roger Sears. Roger Sears, what do you think about Shingo Takagi versus Bryan Danielson?
Oh, you most definitely went to the wrong person there. Jesus. I know nothing about New Japan. Nothing about
I
it.
will
I'm
say
not
you're
gonna lie.
Shingo Takagi, great wrestler, amazing wrestler. Like, yeah, this is a match for a lot of people. It's a dream match. It absolutely is. Even though it happened in Dragon Gate USA 15 years ago, you fucking dork.
Roger, have you seen Bloodsport?
No, I haven't.
Damn,
He hasn't watched Bloodsport. He has a wife and kids. He doesn't have time to sit down and watch obscure indie shows that 8,000 people watched on Fight.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, the film.
Yes.
Yeah,
film.
Shingo Takagi's in
God,
that.
Of course, I've seen that.
Shingo's basically Chong Li.
Yeah, very similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shingo's basically Chong Li.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically racism. So thank you very much for that. All right, moving on in this card. Here's one that people are going to really love. So MJF, we all know who MJF is, right? Yeah, big fan of MJF. So you'll love this because he's facing CMLL's Hechicero. Gesundheit.
It's your Chero.
Hit him with a Chero. Yeah, fuck it. Whatever. Tanvir, even you don't know who that is, do you?
I know a little bit.
Do you? All right, tell us what his finisher is then.
I saw his match with Danielson. He's touted as Mexico's best technical wrestler. So
which is why natural fit with MJF, right?
It'll be a fine match, but it's like
I like how Sean Riley is like Sean McKenzie is like typing away, but it looks like he's having a wank because his microphone's kind of like that.
I'm just like using the end of my pen to scrape off whatever the fuck has been spilt on my mouse mat.
Molly, get back down there. Molly, get back down.
It's probably
don't fucking bring my girlfriend into this.
He's talking about the drug, mate, not the.
Right.
Yeah, get down there and fucking snort that shit, you little cunt. You're gonna need it if you're gonna face someone like DMP. Trust me. But yeah,
get to that later.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. You mouthy little prick. So yeah, everyone excited about MJF versus unpronounceable Mexican dude. Everybody. One for the casuals, right? I mean, you know. So Jeff Cobb will be defending the NJPW World Television Championship against To Be Arranged. For all I know, that could be a gimmick in AEW TBA. There could legitimately be a wrestler called TBA.
It's just a black bodysuit with like TBA right across the front of it.
I mean, speaking of black bodies, Roger Sears' cock is so long that the Alaskan pipeline feels insecure about his size. Boing. All right. So, yeah, Jeff Cobb will be. Let's be honest, there's nothing to say here. Now, something that we should all be recognizing here: the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. John Moxley will defend it against Tetsuya Naito of Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Next.
Fuck.
I think.
Hello.
There we
Sorry.
go, he's
Oh,
back.
hello.
Why your internet connection is unstable. No shit. Yeah, thanks, Hechicero. He ruined it. So John Moxley will defend the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Tetsuya Naito.
Naito's winning because Moxley's not in the G1. The blocks were announced.
What a great name, by the way, for a tournament, the G1 Climax.
And
Did that just last night.
that's all I've really got. That's all I've really got to say on this match.
Bring me your
Naito's winning.
wives, or I will give them a G1 Climax. Big trouble. Jackie's watching this right now. She's going to give me so much shit for that. That sounds much worse than it should. Well, I did shoot her in a hole, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh God.
Sorry, Dan. Love you, really. Yeah, so John Moxley versus Tetsuya. Roger Sears. Tetsuya Naito, do you know him? Guy with a...
No.
You know? No, that's a real shame because he is fucking amazing. You would really like him. Very much the Roger Sears of New Japan.
I'm getting a feeling I should probably start watching some New Japan.
We'll have a little sort of dalliance, and I'll show you a couple of half decent matches. But I expect that to actually be pretty good. And Tetsuya Naito is one of the best all-round workers in the world, so looking forward to that. Now then, Zack Sabre Jr. Obviously, everyone knows Zack Sabre Jr., right? Yeah. Mr. Technical Wrestling. Who would be the perfect opponent in AEW? You'd think Bryan Danielson, maybe MJF, if you want to maybe give him someone of it. You know, even you might want to test him with one of these powerful guys, or you could put him against Orange Cassidy.
Oh,
which is yeah. There goes Sean McKenzie. There goes Tanvir, which leaves me and Roger. The only reason Roger Sears hasn't left is because his dong's so big and he can't actually move. He's disabled. But, so that's a free one, by the way. I didn't even write that one down. Yeah, Roger Sears, a terrible use of Zack Sabre Jr. in your eyes.
Yeah, terrible. Absolutely god awful.
The ironic thing is, it'll be a good match from a wrestling standpoint, but the gimmick ruins the credibility of someone like Zack Sabre Jr. for me. It just does.
Yeah.
You'd be better. I really wish he'd come out as Fireworker Ant number 4 or whatever he was in. You know, in that fucking, I forgot what it's called now. Chikara, that's it.
Zack Sabre Jr. needs to win this. He honestly needs to. If Orange Cassidy goes over, I will fucking maybe off myself on the spot.
Now, here's a match that men can all enjoy. Timeless Toni Storm will defend the AEW Women's World Championship against Mina Shirakawa.
I'm so excited for this.
She is spicy, isn't she? Blimey. Yes, has everyone seen Mina Shirakawa and her redonkulous legs? Fuck yeah, now. This is the thing. Like, this is probably going to be a good wrestling match, but it's very difficult to focus. And it's not like they haven't presented it in a sexual way either, is it? They're really going for it with the Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May thing, like insinuating sesame timbers and all that kind of stuff. It's a unique one. It certainly makes AEW worth watching.
What is it? What is it that Tony Storm says? Like chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe or something like that.
Well, just remember, her forbidden door is always open.
Suit you, sir.
Indeed. Now, speaking of women's matches, Mercedes Moan will defend. Well, it's a winner takes all match. So Mercedes Moan, the AEW TBS champion, will face the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion Stephanie Vacquer with a winner takes all. Pretty fucking obvious who's winning.
I feel so sorry for Stephanie Vacquer. She's arguably like one of, if not the best women's wrestler right now. So fucking good and talented. Seeing her live in Chicago, added to that, I'm like, oh no, she's fucking amazing. So soon as this match was announced, I'm like, I feel so sorry for her because she's such a great worker, and you're just losing to Mercedes Moan.
Yeah, it is a thing. Now, this match should be fucking spectacular for what it's worth. The AEW TNT Championship is vacant because some old man jumped off a steel cage and broke his leg. So therefore, it will be defended in, ironically enough, a ladder match of all things. Yes, indeed. So we have one spot still to be determined, although, again, TBD could just be Tony Khan sexual transmitted in, whatever. We also have Leo Rush, who is obviously fucking fantastic. Dante Martin, who is obviously returning from, I do believe, that horrendous leg break, which is the irony of it, of him being in this match. It's just hilarious to me. We have the bitch, Jack Perry, Real Glass, Crimea River. We also have the Ring of Honor World Champion, Mark Briscoe, of course, from the famed Briscoe brothers. And we have Konosuke Take-a-Shitter. Better known as Konosuke Takeshita, for those who are, like, you know, triggered by the whole
it's Takeshita being announced in the G1 climax as well as the big surprise.
And yeah,
well.
he's going to take a shit and then he's going to have a G1 climax. That's what he's going to
do. He's in the same block.
What an unfortunate combination.
I think he's in the same block as Jeff Cobb. I think we're getting Takeshita, Jeff Cobb in the G1.
Yeah, Jeff Cobb with the big log.
Why does Jeff Cobb sound like he's supposed to be fucking hosting Gillette Soccer Saturday?
Don't diss Jeff Cobb.
I don't know what the reference was for Soccer Saturday.
Yeah.
Do you mean Jeff Stelling Soccer Saturday, or
like just the name Jeff Cobb just sounds like he should be sat there going, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gillette Soccer Saturday. My name is Jeff Cobb, and here is your latest
Soccer Saturday? What was the Gillette? Gillette.
Yeah, Gillette.
Oh, I thought you were saying Gillette. I was like, you said Gillette, didn't you?
Did I say
you
Gillette?
Absolutely said Gillette.
Did I say Gillette? Did I say Gillette?
Can you imagine that advert doesn't have quite the same ring, does it? Gillette, the best a man can get. No, it isn't. More like Ray Gillette. Fucking state of it. Unbelievable. Gillette. Who fancies themselves the 5 razor performance of the Gillette Mac 3? Fucking incredible.
Christ.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, speaking of performance, Roger Sears' dick is so big, ladies and gentlemen, that it had a military coup and is now known as the People's Republic of Roger Sears' dick. More from that later on. All right, back to AEW Forbidden Door. The main event will be Swerve Strickland defending the championship, the AEW World Championship, against Will Ospreay. Yes, please.
Honey.
It's just a shame that I'm gonna have to get through like 12 fucking MMA-based flippy-do matches to get to this match. Like, I am fast forwarding. Like, fuck you. This is gonna be banger, absolute banger.
100%.
Yeah, Tanvir, you happy with that as the main?
If Ospreay was an international champ, then yeah. But
yeah.
That's the only thing that makes this a downer for me, is that Ospreay.
Do you know what else is international, Tanvir?
Roger Sears is cooking.
Yeah, it fucking is. Roger Sears' dog is so wide it ate all the popcorn before she could even reach in to grab it.
Well, that one came out of nowhere.
Yes, it did.
Roger Sears' cock is so
and
big,
it also caused a tsunami.
To shame.
Jesus Christ. I like how he's just like, yep, my dick is massive.
Lisa Al-Gaib.
Yeah, indeed. It's also worth pointing out Roger Sears' cock is so big that Disney are re-releasing it as episodes 10 through 12 of the Star Wars franchise.
Fucking Christ.
Lisa Al-Gaib.
That's yes, thank you for that. Only I'm gonna get that reference.
Oh yeah,
How disappointing. So yeah, that sums up Forbidden Door. Did anyone see Shane McMahon reportedly saying that it was not completely out of the question of him going to AEW? No, this is.
I did not see that. No.
So I went on Twitter the other day and I saw a Shane McMahon is All Elite post, and I thought, oh fuck you. They just, I thought this is ridiculous. However, it appears Shane McMahon, son of former WWE CEO Vince McMahon, may have at least some interest in the idea following a recent conversation on Grilling JR about McMahon possibly joining AEW. This week's episode featured co-host Conrad Thompson sharing some knowledge on what he's heard regarding actual contact between the two parties. There was a friend of ours, Thompson said, I shouldn't say their name, but he went out of his way to text me and say, that's not as crazy as you think. I know for sure that Shane McMahon has at least reached out to wrestlers on the AEW roster to at least hypothetically discuss the idea. So, Roger Sears, Shane McMahon in AEW, value or not?
I feel like he was wanking for a minute there.
Shock value, yeah. But is it going to draw any money? Probably not. It might draw a few eyeballs to begin with.
Is he a Trojan horse, do you think, if he ever went to AEW? Can you imagine him coming out and saying, I now own AEW?
Now that would be cool.
That would be
Especially
so
with Tony Khan
cool.
getting a shit kicking from the Elite at the moment. It doesn't sound that far-fetched. Because who else is going to be an authority figure in this position? Because it's certainly not going to be the Young Bucks. They look like they need a booster seat.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair?
Fucking hell.
Ric Flair's still wooing at blind people in pizzerias, mate. He ain't got no time for that. Yeah. Also, he's got woo energy, which is made apparently from mushrooms.
What?
Ric Flair's new energy drink, Woo Energy, apparently harnesses the power of mushrooms.
Nah.
Yo, I might Super Mario up in this bitch.
Interesting. Very
I
interesting.
could do some of that then.
Sorry to interrupt. Italy just scored an own goal, so it's Spain 1-0.
I have not been paying attention whatsoever, if I'm being honest, but thank you for the update. I do appreciate that, because I probably wasn't going to watch it. I cannot stand Spain and Italy. I think they play a terrible brand of football, particularly Italy.
It's been boring.
Just been proven with Italy scoring a goal.
I kind of figured it would be boring. It was way too hyped up for what it was for a group game. But it is what it is. So, staying with AW, Swerve Strickland will be facing a huge indie legend very, very soon at House of Glory. He will be facing, here's a name that might trigger, Amazing Red.
Wow.
Yeah,
So cool.
Still got it in him. Amazing Red, of course,
Amazing.
TNA legend, one of arguably the greatest indie high flyer in the history of professional wrestling. If you haven't seen Amazing Red, I highly suggest you go and watch him, especially in TNA. A match with Low Key particularly stands out to me as an absolute fucking banger, but everything Amazing Red did was so fucking mental and off the charts. So the fact that he's wrestling Swerve Strickland will be very interesting. I don't expect it to nearly be at the same level of athleticism that Amazing Red would have been 20 years ago, even 25 years ago, but very, very cool. He must be banging on 50 easily now. Like,
Yeah,
I've
must be getting up there.
just looked him up. He is 42 years old.
Wow, he's still got a few years. Like, yeah, he dips in and out of retirement, but Shane's Swerve Strickland will face him at House of Glory. Yeah, I think it's very cool that this is the one benefit of having AEW wrestlers being able to work on the indies. You can have a dream match of this nature. That's certainly going to draw quite a lot, and I think that's a very, very, very cool matchup for people to see. It's certainly one I would go out of my way to watch. So there you go. Good dream matchup. Roger Sears, what's your dream matchup on the indies?
Well, for me to have.
Yeah. Like, who would you love to face?
Can I pick anyone? Can I?
Anyone you like.
Yeah, I'd love to wrestle AJ Styles.
There you go.
I see what you're doing.
What?
Your segue skills, sir.
Segue? No, because he didn't mention size, did he? So,
no, but AJ Styles dream match. Sean tagged it in the WhatsApp group.
Oh.
It's AJ Styles v Naoichi Marufuji in Pro Wrestling Noah on July the 13th.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that, if I'm being honest. But AJ Styles of WWE will be facing Marufuji, who I've had the pleasure of actually seeing live. Amazing talent. That's going to slap. Yeah. Oh, is that Noah, right?
Yeah, I really thought you were like segueing because I was putting the pieces together like a jigsaw. I'm like, and he's asked Roger, and I know Roger's favorite wrestler is AJ Styles. That's his dream opponent. I'm like, he's doing a segue.
Just stick to your dream job.
Tin-foil hat, mate. Chill out.
Christ almighty.
You and fucking Trump over there talking about the lizard people. Relax, man.
Zuckerberg is a lizard.
Yeah, he fucking is.
Fucking hell. Right.
Reptilian little scumbag that he is. By the way, if I disappear, then you know why. Because Zuckerberg had me off the fucking dirty little rat.
The shadow realm has taken you.
Yes, indeed. Nice inside job reference there. So that pretty much wraps up the news. Shout out to Pac, by the way, who knocked off Claudio Castagnoli in the quarterfinals of the Owen Hart tournament, which I thought was actually very cool. So hopefully he's set for a deep run here, because fucking use him, for the love of Christ. Best wrestler in the world, not doing
fucking talent.
You've made Danielson Shingo even harder to predict now. Because do I want Pac Danielson or do I want Pac Shingo?
I'll tell you what is packing, mate. And that is Roger Sears' cock. Because it is so huge that actually in the original director's cut of Star Wars, it protected Alderaan from the Death Star. I worked hard on these. Now speaking of, it's also worth pointing out that Roger Sears' dick is so long that it made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. And Roger says dick is so big that Marty and Doc reached 88 miles an hour just to outrun it. Some good retro references for our older viewers here. They'll appreciate those quite a bit. It's also very much worth pointing out before we move on that Roger's cock is so big that back in high school, the football coach gave the team the choice of running twice around the field or once around his dick. All right. So we come to that portion of the podcast where it is any other business. Gentlemen, is there anything you'd like to discuss?
Yes.
What would you like to discuss?
Well, it's only really been eating me up since today. But Notorious DMP, what the fuck are you running your mouth? Do you want to fucking go, son? I saw you sleeping whilst I was ringing the bell. Do you actually want to go? I've been training my ass off here in the ring here whilst you've just been, I don't know what you've been doing. But
I do believe he took 8 weeks out for broken rib.
Wow. In that case, I give him the benefit of the doubt. The moment you're back in there, meet me in that fucking ring, son, and we'll get fucking on it.
We'll get on it. What, are you going to have a little session with him, are you?
Oh, yeah.
You fancy his chances against DMP, do you, in a fight?
Maybe not so much a fight.
I mean, you opened your fucking mouth, back it up. I backed it up. Like, Will Rocket still stands. Like, if Joel Redman is done protecting you as the golden boy, I'll absolutely face you one-on-one. Doesn't bother me. I'll share how Uranagi's done properly as well. But, you know, but it's not about me. It's not about Will Rocket. And we all know that Will Rocket can wrestle, but can you? That's a big question. I'll never deny that. Will Rocket, very, very, very capable professional wrestler. But is Sean McKenzie good enough to knock off the Notorious DMP, who already has some big match experience?
He does. And you know what? I'll give him that. And I'll give him the fact that he did point out one thing in the beginner's chat, that I did come from something that wanted to be a school. I came from a fake
came from your mum.
Fuck's sake.
These are all factual fucking comments. Like, are they not? But yeah, come on, back it up. Like, I think you're cutting a promo, as the business likes to say. Do better.
But you know what? Like, there's one thing DMP doesn't have, and that's
a smoking hot mum with banging tits.
I'm not gonna back that because that's just weird.
I mean, it'd be weird if you did back up on your mum personally.
Exactly.
Especially if she's not got the strap on out.
But I just don't think DMP has what it takes to actually get in the ring and even last 5 minutes.
You think DMP can't last 5 minutes with you?
No.
Well, looking at the size of you, Sean, I don't think you can last 5 minutes, mate. I see that gut. You all that flexing. You do all that flexing, but I still see your gut sticking out. Where's your cardio at, son? You saying DMP can't last 5 minutes? I bet you can't even last one, mate.
Mate,
Tanvir, do you want to go?
Tanvir just blitzed you on promos, man. He just done you in like 10 seconds. He just fucking handed you your tiny little fake Scottish ass. Like, that is jokes to me. Hey, right, come on, back it up, Mackenzie.
Right, Tanvir, I'll get to you in a minute. But DMP, July 27th, you best be ready. Joel Redman, make the fucking match happen, and I will prove that this DMP has got nothing on a Mackenzie. He got nothing on me.
DMP. Like mac and cheese over here, Mackenzie, mac and cheese. That's all you be stuffing down your gob. That's all you're stuffing down your gob, mate. Mackenzie, come back at me.
Oh my God.
Right,
I'm so hard
DMP.
for Tanvir right now.
Mackenzie, each time I see you down the McDonald's, stuffing your face.
More like mac and cheese. Yo, DMP's going to rob that. That's so good.
He is going to rob that. Gonna rob that. But, Tanvir, I suppose you want a piece, do you?
I think
you malnourished pimp.
I think he does. I mean, we're not going to be able to put that all-star, but I think we might be able to get away with putting it in IWE. There's a company that'll book anybody.
It's like, Tanvir, you got how many matches? Remind me again,
look at their tag team champions,
mate.
You were in the Rumble, right? And how long did you last again?
It is worth pointing out that he was the only man to be eliminated before the next guy came out after him.
That's just embarrassing.
Even Roger Sears lasted longer, and he was fucking completely shellacked and shanghaied by some gimp from Canada. Love you, Kamikaze. You know we're joking, bro. We love Kamikaze here. By the way, the Kamikaze interview will be dropping very soon on a Wrestle Plug.
Frankie T, I know you're going to be watching this.
No, he fucking isn't. He's too busy fucking giving birth to another one of his fucking chicken hens he calls fucking kids.
He's too busy with childcare.
Tell you what, I'll wrestle Frankie T any day. Well, I say wrestle, it's not really a wrestle, is it? It's like, it's like Muhammad Ali versus an infant.
It feels like a Make-A-Wish.
It does feel like a Make-A-Wish. It absolutely does. So, the terminal disease that is Frankie T's career will be ended at the hands of the Egyptian Death Machine at some point.
T stands for terminal.
But I'm putting
Frankie Terminal. And as you know, as an Arab man, I do love a terminal.
Fucking hell.
The Tom Hanks film? Or
why? Why you gotta throw fucking Philadelphia under the bus like that?
No, there's the Tom Hanks film called The Terminal.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Tanks! Thomas Tank Engine!
Tom Tanks, he definitely shaves with the old Gillette, doesn't he?
Fucking hell.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. The only problem is who's he going to find? Tony Storm or Zoe Stark?
There's the Tom Hanks film called The Terminal.
I remember all your mistakes.
It's about the guy who lived in the terminal.
Let's just find that Champagne Charlie one and play it. That's never going to go away.
Why are we throwing Champagne Charlie out here? That's very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous.
That voice is... Nah, I can't say that.
Moving on. So Roger Sears, what are you up to this weekend? You do anything?
I'm wrestling this weekend.
Yeah, you are. At BCD's The Clash against an unnamed opponent. Would you like to tell us who you will be facing at Big Cock Disorder The Clash?
I don't know.
No idea. But it's your open challenge.
No idea. It's my open challenge. Yeah, somebody's got to answer the open challenge.
Well, all we do know is that Jay Knox cannot answer it because, of course, he lost. Lol. No title shot for you.
No soup for you.
Does that mean that Black Mask thing can answer it as well?
Little bit racist, mate, if we're being honest. Like, just...
Hey, he said mask, not face.
Wait, hang on. Does that mean that everyone's favorite
careful now
can answer it?
Yeah.
So you versus Tornado Kid. You happy with that one?
Right, Tornado Kid's already busy. He's in the tournament for the Clash. Pay attention.
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he?
He's facing an unnamed opponent because Towering Tyler Roberts got injured in an unfortunate cock-holding accident.
Fucking hell. Sorry, I haven't paid much attention.
I'm waiting. Inbox is open. So, Roger Sears, dare I say, a mammoth opportunity for you this weekend. Would you not agree? But is it as mammoth as Roger Sears' penis, which is so big that it has an elbow?
Jesus Christ.
Roger Sears' cock that is so huge, women need a harness and a helmet just to have sex with it, ladies and gentlemen. Roger Sears' dick that is so massive that CERN are attempting to close it. That's a thinker for the conspiracy theories, that one. Roger Sears' dick is so big it has a permanent seat on the UN Council. Roger Sears' dick is so long that there is no such thing as a long-distance relationship to him. Roger Sears' cock is so big that his agent won't take anyone's calls. And finally, Roger Sears' dick is so big that Google Earth has had to be renamed the Sears Satellite.
Jesus Christ. So do you think Roger Sears' cock will be in the way again when we're getting home from the Isle of Wight next Saturday?
I'm looking forward to it tripping you up in your match against DMP.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen.
He doesn't even have to referee. He could literally be wrestling somewhere else. Roger Sears' cock is so big that the only hole that can take it is a black hole. That's according to Tanvir, who just put that in the chat. Thank you very much, Tanvir. And I assume by black hole you are referring to a large mama business in Brooklyn and not, of course, the space age entity. You're racist.
You mentioned the CERN Super Collider, so I thought...
I did. Roger Sears knows all about Super Collider. Fucking size of it.
My question is, what happens with Roger Sears' cock and the Bermuda Triangle? Only you have the answer to that next. What happens?
The Bermuda Triangle does not exist, and I would appreciate it if you didn't bring it up again. The
Illuminati
Mariana
confirmed.
Trench. The Mariana Trench. Yeah, I love conspiracy theories. I don't necessarily subscribe to them, but I love them. Like, they are just, yeah. Do you know what? We'll finish this podcast with our favorite conspiracy theory. Sean McKenzie, your favorite conspiracy theory?
It was something I was talking about with Benjamin Stone on the car journey to wrestling, and it opens up like a massive can of worms for a lot of other ones. But it's like what I perceive as the color green is not what you might perceive as the color green.
That's your favorite conspiracy theorist, the color green.
If you think about it, years ago, someone must have just decided, like, oh yeah, this is green, this color is green, this color is blue, this color is. What if it's not actually green? What if what I perceive is of green?
What if this is green?
Exactly. That color there could be green, but someone decided years ago that's pink.
Fuck off, Tanvi, you racist little fairy. Unbelievable. That is disgraceful behavior. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm not even going to repeat it. It's that bad.
But like, yeah, it just opens up like a whole different can of worms.
Yeah, it opens up a hole. You know what else opens up a hole? Roger says massive cock. Yeah, it does. So, Tanvir, your turn. Favorite conspiracy theory?
Jet fuel cannot melt steel beams.
You genuinely think 9/11 was an inside job, dude?
I fucking love it. It's my favorite because of just how many memes, and I'm like, actually, I don't know if jet fuel could melt steel beams, so it could very well be an inside job.
A very famous wrestler that I'm friends with did at one point believe that the plane that flew into the towers was indeed a hologram that was put over a missile.
I mean, what was drone technology
Smoke
like
weed every day.
Hologram!
I mean, was drone technology even a thing in 2001?
Most like, I think the military had drone strikes, but yeah, we didn't. Like, for instance, I was not flying my potentic atom into the North Tower before anyone asks. Unacceptable. Just because I'm an Arab man, just assume that I have an enthusiasm for planes. Bullshit.
Is your inbox still open there, Nix, for all the haters?
Yeah,
it's got the cry.
Yeah, currently it's being probed by the CIA, but that's neither here nor there. Roger Sears, your favorite conspiracy theory?
Got three that I really like.
Go on,
really
bang them out.
So there's the whole 9/11 was an inside job.
Do you believe it to be?
The moon land? No, I don't believe it was an inside job. There are too many witnesses, right? You can't get that many witnesses to lie, can you?
I don't know. It's America.
Well, yeah,
America. Fuck yeah.
That the moon landings were fake. Were filmed in the studio. That's a good one.
I've actually seen one on that one where it's like there's like the video of it and the flag is waving, but they're supposed to be in space.
Has anyone seen, like, this is where I'm going to get in trouble. Like, so I don't personally give a shit because I'm never going to space. So it's that thing of like, it's hard to really care because you're not going to be out there anyway. But I do look at the spaceship that landed on the moon originally and think that looks like a that looks like a Lego fucking thing. Yeah. Like, it's made out of tinfoil or some shit. It does not look like it could. No. I'm like, really? That is able to like no way did that no way has that survived the compression of space. I find that really hard to believe.
And didn't it have like, was it 2 or 3 people in it? It was supposed to have three people. There's no way. There's no way.
I find it really hard to believe that is genuinely a spaceship. If it, like, you know, my mum is really into space and stuff. She watches like all these NASA streams when they're when they're sort of fixing shuttles and things. I just think, but what's weird about that is this isn't like me putting my tinfoil hat on. NASA has legitimately said we do not have any genuine photography of the Earth. It is photoshopped. It has to be photoshopped, even though we've taken photos from a satellite. It has to be photo, and you're like, what? That's really weird to me. That's legitimately a statement for NASA. You can find that online very easily.
That is crazy.
And it's like,
that makes all the flat earthers go fucking berserk.
Oh, flat Earth. Now that is a conspiracy.
That was my third one.
Yeah. I love the idea that some people believe that we're on the back of a giant turtle.
I've seen that one.
I like that one because Avatar.
It's just.
Yeah, but I just think about the tail from Shark's Tale. Like.
I think of the one from fucking Finding Nemo. He's just
What,
like
the Australian
fucking high
one, the
on weed.
surfer dude?
Yeah,
Crush.
the surfer dude. Yeah, I just think of that one.
Yeah, surf's up, dude. Flat Earth, raw. It's just like, right.
Another good conspiracy theory is that the guy that got accused of killing JFK, his name Oscar something.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
That's one. Lee Harvey Oswald. It was actually someone else from like a different angle.
Oh, you
Well,
mean
yeah,
the
like-
grassy knoll?
Have
The
you seen
what?
JFK?
The grassy knoll, the gunman on
Yeah.
the grassy knoll.
Government on the
Yeah.
grass. No, yeah, that's.
I came to admit I was the gunman on the grassy knoll.
JF... Yeah, JFK is a really good watch. It's a bit of a long film, but it's a good watch.
I tell you what, the JFK one is the one that seems to have found itself in the mainstream media the most. It's in Umbrella Academy, isn't it? Have you seen the anyone seen Umbrella Academy?
I haven't yet. I'm
yeah.
You
planning.
haven't watched
to...
Umbrella Academy. You've watched
I'm-
literally everything on Netflix, but you haven't watched that.
because
It's fucking amazing.
No,
You need to watch it.
I explained this of like the reason why I haven't watched it because it always came out at the same time as The Boys, and I fucking love The Boys
Roger
so
Sears
much.
looks genuinely angry.
Wait,
right
hang
now.
on. Has Tanvid just admitted that he loves The Boys?
Yes.
The Amazon Prime TV show.
Okay, thanks for the specification.
Yes.
Yeah, so what I'm planning on is because The Boys should be finishing early July, I'm gonna binge.
The
through
boys
Umbrella
should be
Academy.
finishing early.
Yeah.
No.
Phrasing.
The TV show The Boys should be finishing in early July.
Yeah, it should.
Oh,
Finish that
hell.
story, Tanvir.
So then
Finish
I'm
that
gonna,
story.
so then after that, I'm planning on binging for Umbrella Academy because final season comes out on August the 8th.
Here's a really good inside joke for you. Tanvir, what do you make of these claims that Cameron Harper is sexually attracted to you due to your ethnicity?
Wait, what? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, you're next on my list, you little gimp. You're fucking full of shit, ain't you? You love chatting in the
Cameron
group chat,
Harper.
don't you? But when you're face to face with me, you got nothing, have you, you little
Is-
twink?
Is he
Nothing. You
constantly
hide.
harping on
You
like a
hide
fucking-
behind Daddy Stone. That's what you do. Hide behind Daddy Stone. Yeah. There'll be nowhere to hide when Roger Sears kicks your face off at Risen. Nowhere to hide. Nowhere. We're going to go backstage and cry. Dad, don't you beat me up. Well, have a korma and shut the fuck up. How about that?
Roger's ass kicking is gonna make look like a mild inconvenience.
Motherfucking alcohol with
Jesus
it.
Christ.
That's
Fuck's
so annoying.
sake.
I'm
That's so
sorry.
annoying. That is so annoying. Anyway, I didn't even get to my favorite conspiracy theory, which is that Antarctica actually hides another civilization. I am fascinated by this shit. Like, there's pilot reports from like the 30s and 40s of like pilots that flew into so there's a pilot. This report is on record with the US Air Force. He flew into what he believed was a cave complex in Antarctica, and he came out the other side, and it was like an entirely new civilization. He saw like modern buildings, futuristic, like space age, UFOs, all kinds of shit. So, and there's been findings in Antarctica of like pyramids, all sorts, and they believe that there's like old naval maps that they used to use centuries ago. The original maps of the Earth have Antarctica as all green, which is like mind blowing. I'm just like, so at what point did it freeze over? Because we're led to believe what the Ice Age.
Is that frost wall theory where it's like what's beyond that frost wall kind of thing?
That does tie into it, I believe. Yes, like I mean, I find I'd love to watch a movie, for instance, that just kind of embellishes on it. The idea that you find what's past the wall. In Game of Thrones, they have the ice wall, and they actually go through it, and there's kind of a reference to it in that. There's so many references to all of these. These conspiracy theories have been in our media for decades, if not hundreds of years. And it's interesting that so many of them are still prominent, but they're hidden very smartly behind, little references of it.
Have you seen the series Love, Death, Robot?
Yes, excellent.
Yeah, there's the episode with Topher Grace, and I forget who plays his wife, but they find a civilization in their freezer, and they just keep an eye on it every now and again, and like every now and again, it just keeps getting more and more developed until it loops back, and they're like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Yeah.
It's all in their freezer. Love, Death, Robot. Such a
conspiracy theory that really sort of made me think when I was a shift leader at Tesco, like beginning of 2023, end of 2022. Down in my town, I was working with someone, and she was very heavy. She's very heavy on conspiracy theories.
Is she hot?
No.
What a shame.
And she was
because I'll give her a flat Earth experience.
Fucking hell. And she was
I've melt her steel beam.
she was talking about the whole celebrity adrenochrome sort of theory. The whole thing of where like it was in Inside. If you've seen Inside Job, it's the episode where Keanu Reeves is a blood-sucking vampire.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like where they just like they drink the blood of like
Ageless, yeah.
Yeah, where they're just basically ageless. That's why they don't age, is because of this whole adrenochrome.
That's
like,
why you've never
thing.
seen Roger Sears and Jason Statham in the same room.
I wondered that.
I do believe he looks like the British wrestling Jason Statham. Someone once said to me he looks like Doug Williams, which I'm which is weird because I'm doing a seminar with Doug this Saturday, and I'm like, no, I don't see that at all. Maybe he's got a massive dong as well. I don't know.
Why don't you ask him?
That'll be my first question. Are we taking any questions? Yes. Roger Sears has a massive cock. He's not here, but you can definitely see it outside. But is your appendage a similar size? And also, how big is Batista's dick?
Fucking hell.
Got to give it up for Doug. Poor Doug. He does not belong in the same room as me, the poor bastard. And he has been several times. But very much looking forward to that. By the way, anyone watching this before Saturday, Doug Williams seminar at the ASW South unit in Salisbury. Check it out. It's actually on Google Maps. If you type in ASW South, it will give you directions to it. So if anyone would like to learn from one of the greatest professional wrestlers Britain has ever produced, the ambassador to the UK, that is Doug Williams, that is the place to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come and learn from one of the all-time greats under the banner of the best training school in professional wrestling. After PPW, of course. No, I'm joking. although PPW should be worth pointing out. Pursuit Pro Wrestling is fucking awesome. It's about time we had a collab. ASW South and PPW need to do a collab.
That would be fucking awesome.
Pure money. They've already done a collab with Catch 22. No reason why they can't with PPW.
They did a collab with Hard Knocks as well, didn't they? In Ireland.
No, I'm talking about ASW did a collab with Catch 22, didn't they?
Oh,
they didn't do a show, but they had a training session where a load of the Catch 22 guys came down, which would have been fucking baller. Some amazing talents there. KM Lane, Jacob Grady, Stuart Shepherd. Great unit of talent down there. A lot of my boys trained down there who I've got a lot of time for. So, yeah.
PPW, they did the Hard Knocks.
Yes, you've seen their Instagram. Stop trying to show off. He's like, I saw that Instagram story. I know everything about Nathan Black. Please book me. Just stick to DMP for now, mate. You'll be fine. So, yeah. Any final words?
Promo first.
Any final words for DMP, Sean McKenzie?
No, not really.
No, got no word play on his name, DMP.
Not really.
No.
Dan
Beer looks shell shocked. No. Deer in headlights.
Vietnam fresh.
I can't think of anything. I'm gonna put it to the excuse that I'm fucking tired.
Stage fright for Sean McKenzie, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching the State of Wrestling address. Probably slightly more, well, not PG, but slightly better than last week at least.
There is a bit of a play on his name you could do that I just did.
What's that?
Does not pull out.
Yeah, but it's the M-P, not N.
And he has got kids as well, so yeah.
Oh wow, we're just going after his kids now, are we?
Oh God, no.
Wow.
This should be a lot of fun. I look forward to the recompense from this podcast. Yeah, because you know it's going to get clipped and put in the group chat.
Oh well.
I would just like it on record that I think All Star is probably the greatest professional wrestling outfit in the history of professional wrestling.
Agreed.
Yeah, flip that. Yeah, right. Yeah, that is good shit. It's it is what it is. It is what it is. So tune in very soon because on July 27th at the Student Showcase for All Star Wrestling South, Sean McKenzie will be getting absolutely dick licked by DMP. Should be a good time. And,
that's not the match I want. That's not the match I want. If
Wow.
that's what I'm signing up to, I'm out of it.
Well, I don't know, he's quite a handsome man. You never know. You'd never, ever know. And obviously, you're short enough to service most people.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm done.
I bet that's what he says when he's finished. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the State of Wrestling Address from myself, Aaron Nix, from Sean McKenzie. From Tanvir, mac and cheese, good shit. And from Rogers's. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you very soon for more horrendous content from the professional wrestling world, brought to you by the worst podcast in all of professional wrestling, the Wrestle Plug. See you later, gang.
Peace.